Yo. So today I'm going through my week one battle against Brendan for Sunnyshore League, as promised. And yeah, we're just gonna go right into it. This is the matchup. So as you can see, that's my team from the last video, and this is his. So his team is looking pretty decent. It's got some threats, Cinderace, Heracross, Volcanion, I guess Tyranitar, and then got some good bulk there with Mega Venusaur, Tapu Fini, good core there, and of course Deoxys defense, very bulky, lots of utility. So yeah, fairly tricky draft to play around. But yeah, this is how I went into it. This is my team. So yeah, right off the bat, I went with Tornadus Therian because honestly, straight up, first thing I noticed, it absolutely destroys him. This set in particular, it outspeeds his entire team. He doesn't have anything faster than it, and acrobatics and superpower is perfect coverage against him. I acrobatics the Deoxys, Cinderace, obviously the Venusaur, Fini, Duoludin and Tyranitar. Superpower, Heracross dies to Acro. Yeah, same for the remaining four, just acrobatics them. And then obviously U-turn is there for the momentum gaining, because I didn't need other coverage. I could have run knock, but I just thought U-turn would be more useful because Tornadus would just be coming in and out of the match, and that extra chip throughout the battle would be very helpful. And yeah, obviously Taunt was essential basically for like Deoxys defense. I taunt that and shut it down from setting any hazards or like going for Thunder Wave, Toxic, or any of that annoying stuff. And also, I just like prevent Fini defogging, Palisand from recovering. So yeah, Taunt was basically there to wall break, or stall break rather. And yeah, against his offense, Tornadus outsped and basically want to heal everything. So that's why Tornadus was just like a very easy pick. It is straight up just destroys him. 1v1 against every single one of his team, it wins. And defensively, I guess it helps with like Heracross and Mega Venusaur or so. So yeah, that's the way I started. Just went with the Pokemon that absolutely destroyed him. Next up, I chose up Mega. Oh yeah, the speed. The speed just outspeeds Cinderace, max in attack, and then just remaining in HP. So next up was Mega Sizzle. Now Mega Sizzle was very important in this matchup because it checked like loads of different things. For example, like I could see him bringing like Scarf Heracross to kind of surprise my offense, with like Earthquake for Coco, Stone Edge for Tornadus Therian, and yeah, that just kind of surprise KO, that kind of stuff. But Mega Scissor was there to pivot around Scarf Heracross, and that is what the defense EVs do. So obviously I've got max HP, obvious reasons, and then the 52 EVs in defense with the Impish Nature lives 2 close combats from Heracross after Stealth Rock. And yeah, Mega Scissor was also like my only switch into Duoludin. The rest of my draft does not switch into it. Just look at them; they don't switch into it. Slowking gets like thunderbolted by Specs. Tangrowth can't really take Specs, Break, or Meteor well at all. And luckily, Duoludin is one of the dragon types that don't have a fire move. So Mega Scissor could switch into it really well, basically. And yeah, basically the 88 EV in Spadef did exactly that. That ensured that I lived 2 Specs Thunderbolts after Stealth Rock from Duoludin. And the rest in speed was just, I think that was just creeping Tapu Fini, if I remember correctly. That way I could defog on it if it decides to go on Taunt. Yeah, I was just creeping Tapu Fini by a lot. I already hit like the benchmarks for physical and special defense with Heracross and Duoludin, so the rest from there was kind of like free fall. So that's why I just put it in speed. Yeah, that's what it does. It pivots around like Scarf Heracross, Dodrio, and the Muse or Bullet Puncher. No need to explain that. It's just stab priority. Mega Scissor will always run that in any set. U-turn, I wanted that to maintain the momentum because I knew this thing would be like coming in and out of offensive threats. And you know, it's not like this thing was really looking to dish out big damage anyway. I wasn't really looking to like you know, break things with it. It was literally just there to kind of come in on threats, switch out, roost, whatever. It's just like a straight up utility mon. Roost, obviously, longevity, absolutely need it if I want to actually do things with the sizzle. And defog, this was like the only slot in my team that could run it. And yeah, I mean, Tornado's T, as you saw the set, it can't fit it. Coco couldn't do it. And yeah, Scissor could was the only one remaining. And yeah, I absolutely did need defog against his team because he has a Deoxys defense. So that got like stealth rock, spikes, even Heracles has spikes now. So yeah, I figured defog would be really important against this guy. So yeah, that's what Sizzle did. Next up was Slowking. Now Slowking was there, well, outside of Gudra, it's the only switch in my whole draft to Volcanion, which was otherwise like a massive threat with specs that you would just like want to kill anything. Now I chose Slowking over Gudra for Volcanion because Slowking also helped against like Cinderace and Crabominable. And I guess you could even pivot around like Dodrio with you know, max physical defense, regenerator, and Rocky Helmet. You could do that a lot better than Gudra, of course, which doesn't have regenerator and doesn't have recovery. Yeah, that's what Slowking did, I guess. I just gave it, yeah, I mean, yeah, regen and slack off just made it like a very easy choice over Gudra because those two would make it like an even better check against Volcanion than Gudra anyway. And yeah, I just gave it max physical defense because I figured it, as a water type, it already has like enough special defense to check Volcanion reliably. And I just put the rest in physical defense to better check like Cinderace and, you know, pivot around like Dodrio, Crabominable, and all that stuff. So that's what I was thinking when making that set. And I gave a Rocky Helmet just to annoy them even further. So like if Cinderace wants to U-turn on the Slowking, at least I chip it when it switches out. Same for like Crabominable, using like whatever move it goes for. Same for Dodrio and whatever. Yeah, I just figured Helmet would be like really helpful throughout the battle. In hindsight, a little more Spadef would have been better, and you'll see why in the battle. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. I couldn't have really known that. I guess I should have run calcs like more meticulously, but I didn't. I didn't even run calcs. I just went into it like that. Now moves, Scald, you know, stab, burn chance. Don't really need to explain it. It's just gonna bring it in it. Psychic was important because it actually hit Volcanion because Scald didn't, because you know, Volcanion has a water absorb, but Psychic was there, so like I don't get walled by the sub sets like sub toxic or whatever. And I guess it was like neutral against Feeny, so you know, that was helpful. And I could also smack Venusaur pretty hard with it because you know, Slowking's a good bulk, and Spadef can at least make it afford to stay in on Venu for like one turn at least. And you know, getting a nice Psychic off on it would be nice, and then just regenerating whatever damage it did to me with Regenerator. So yeah, and of course slack off was for the staying power. So I'm not totally reliant on regen because obviously that's not a reliable strategy. And Toxic was, honestly, it was there because like I didn't really see anything else I could run. You know, Toxic could hit like Deoxys defense in particular. That was important, so I don't get walled by it. And I guess I could also just spam it like against Volcanion and whatever. But yeah, that's what Slowking did. Now at this point, I was just looking at offense because honestly I pretty much had his whole team covered. I guess Tyranitar was like a threat because, you know, Tornadus, Sizzle, and Slowbro, they don't really cover Tyranitar as switch-ins, especially because Tyranitar does have Fire Punch for Sizzle. Yeah, I mean, I could have used like Tangrowth and Quagsire to like counter it, but to be honest, I really didn't like either of the Pokemon in this matchup because they were just like massive momentum drains. You know, I just thought of them, and then I'm looking at like Mega Venusaur, which hard walls the absolute shit out of them, both of them. Tapu Fini is also there to like, you know, make Quagsire's Toxic useless and all that kind of stuff. Tangrowth can't even Sleep Powder under terrain. yeah, they just felt like they just weren't worth it to bring in this battle because yeah, like fair enough they'd wall the Tyranitar, but then after that what, like they just get absolutely walled by Venusaur and then just like waste turns. So yeah, that's why I thought I'll take the risk and just check Tyranitar in different ways. So yeah, so yeah, I mean I was looking at offense at this point and I straight away started with a Chandelure because I looked at his team and his Ghost Resist was Tyranitar. I'm not gonna even count Dodrio, that just forget that, it dies to like fucking Thunder Shock or some shit. But yeah, yeah, so Ghost Resist was Tyranitar, and Tyranitar lacks recovery, and most importantly in this gen it lacks pursuit. So that's what made me bring Chandelure, because I knew I couldn't get pursuited. You know, I even had Energy Ball for Tyranitar just in case, and you know, furthermore, Chandelure outsped most things on his team, at least regarding the fat stuff. So yeah, I mean, just look at it. Spec Chandelure against this team, right? Deoxys dies, Cinderace dies, Venusaur is gonna take like a shit ton, you know, or just like Specs overheated. Feeney's gonna take a shit ton. Dualudon will definitely just die. Yeah, I mean, Heracross dies, Volcanion definitely dies, Pelisan dies, everything dies. It just hits him so hard, and he doesn't really have resist to it. And yeah, that's it. Shadow Ball was obviously the Ghost Stab, don't need to explain it. Energy Ball was for Tyranitar, and also like a good neutral option if I'm up against like Feeny and Palisand, in case he wants to switch in the Tyranitar. Now Overheat, I chose Overheat over something like Flamethrower or Fire Blast because I figured if I bought Flamethrower, for example, I'm never really clicking it over Shadow Ball because Shadow Ball is just like way more spammable. But however, if I did want to go for something other than Shadow Ball, I might as well just go for a straight up nuke and just deal as much damage as possible. So that's why I figured if I'm gonna go for the fire move, I'm gonna go for Overheat and just fucking nuke whatever it is. And furthermore, Overheat was really useful because if Tyranitar did want to switch in, then at least I can hit it with a Specs Overheat Modest. That's going to do a lot of damage and, you know, just really wear down Tyranitar that much faster. So yeah, that is Chandelure. Yeah, as for the set, now I mean the EV, so I went with Modest. I was being a bit greedy here because this speed in particular, well, that already outspeeds Tyranitar. Everything else I can't outspeed, or you know, they'd be bulky and I'd be outspeed anyway. And as for Volcanion, now Volcanion is base 70, but I figured he's not gonna go timid. He's not gonna go timid. Just looking at my draft, there's no reason to go timid. You know, you look at Coco, you're not gonna outspeed that. You're not gonna outspeed Torn. Scissor doesn't really run speed, so you're not gonna care about that. Gudra base 80, Mamo base 80, Chandelure base 80. There's no reason for you to run timid. You're just gonna run Modest, because the rest, like Tangrowth, very slow, Slowking very slow, Drapion faster, Archeops faster, Cragsayer, all very slow. So I looked at my draft and I think there's no way he runs timid. He's definitely bringing Modest. So I got greedy and went, you know what, I'm gonna go Modest as well and just outspeed the Volcanion, and of course the Tyranitar, which is a base which is a 241 or something, or two, yeah, something like that. Is that two? Yeah, something. Yeah, I think 242. Let me just check. I don't even know I am. You know what? I just want to make sure, because I don't know why I went up to 246. So I must have been doing something. If I'm just outspeeding Tyranitar, because Modest was. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, 243. That's why I went 246. I should have just went 244. Don't know why I went 246. Is it just OCD reasons? Because I wanted the numbers to end in 6. Why did I go here? That's a draft. What here, man? Week 1, Brendan. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I should have went 244, but I went 246 for some strange reason. Could have had 2 more HP at least. But yeah, whatever. Next up, Mamoswine. Now, Mamoswine. First and foremost, they offered Stealth Rock, which I really needed because I knew this matchup would just be like involve a lot of switching, and of course Stealth Rock is that move that punishes that. Also, it was another big threat to him. You know, I'm just looking at the teams, right? And what does he have for Earthquake? Or rather, what does he have for Adamant, Soft Sand, Earthquake? Yeah, if Cinderace dies, Venus is gonna take half. Yeah, it's definitely taking half from that. Deoxys D depends on the spread, but it's gonna take a shit on. Feeney's gonna take a shit on. Duoludon, Tyranitar dies. Heracross is a resist, but like, not really. And I'll show you why now. These three, Volcanion, Palossand, Crabon, they die. Dodrio, immune, but like, who the hell's gonna switch that in? It's gonna be scared of the ice move, and even if he does switch in, it's probably gonna die to Ice Shot the next turn anyway. Now Heracross, let me show you the so-called resist Heracross. Now this is my set. Let me just go here. So tell them hello and set up Kelp. Mammal Swine. This video is going on quite long. How long has it been? Don't even know, whatever. Mammal Swine. Choice Band. Not Choice Band though. Heracross. I'm gonna make it Adamant and then I'm gonna make it Soft Sand. And that is doing, yeah, that's what I mean. That's not a switching. That's a 2-hit KO basically. 45 to 53. Get out of here. So yeah, that's why Mammothon was another giant threat to him, and they offered Stealth Rock, so no reason not to get it. Yeah, I mean, the EVs are the same, is reaching the same benchmark as Chandelure, 246, outspeeding the Tyranitar and the Modest Volcanion, which reaches 239. Yeah, that's it. The name, I tried to bluff Choice Band by saying Choice Band. I figured with Adamant and Soft Sand I could maybe bluff like Jolly Choice Band. He might just fall for that, just being a bit cheeky really. But yeah, then last we have Coco. Coco basically just rounded everything off. It was like yeah, I mean, yeah, so obviously because I couldn't really check Tita with the first 3 slots, Mamo and Coco were there as offensive threat, offensive checks to it. Coco obviously outspeeds +1 T-Toss, and then just close combats it. Mamo can live hits and then just revenge kill, and so on. But yeah, Coco just rounded off as the cleaner. You know, looking at the moves, it totally destroyed him. Although I should have ran Grass Knot for Palossand. I don't know why I didn't. That was stupid of me. I just didn't think he'd bring Palossand because a lot of my team just destroy it. I mean, I figured he would be scared of Grass Knot Coco. Gudra does beat Palossand. Obviously, Mammothine and Chandelure do. And then my bulk just like switched into Palossand forever. So I didn't expect Palossand to come. That's why I didn't. That's why I dropped Grass Knot and went with these moves instead. Now, yeah, I mean, this is what I mean by it destroys him. BOD, okay, maybe I can wool. With I guess Max Fizdef would wool, yeah. So, but yeah, Cinderace is gonna like take a shit ton from Wild Charge. Venusaur, Brave Bird, Fini, Wild Charge, Duoludon and Tyranitar, Close Combat, Heracross, Brave Bird, Volcanion, Wild Charge, Dodrio, Wild Charge, Cramono, Close Combat of Brave Bird. So yeah, I mean, just outspeeds on 1 kills like so many things on his team, so it was a perfect cleaner. And yeah, I mean, that's why I put U-turn, just to maintain momentum, because I knew it would force a shit ton of switches. Yeah, that's the set. I just gave it expert belt to just get that bit more damage. Didn't really want Life Orb because it would get worn down too fast. And I figured I'm gonna be using super effective moves most of the time anyway, so yeah. Speed outspeeds Cinderace, rest in attack, and then the spares in HP. And that is just about it. That's the team for Brendan. Overall, I'm happy with it. You know, I checked most of his strengths. Well, I checked like everything except T-Top. But I figured, yeah, as I said, I'd take that risk. My offense, I'm confident with Mammothine and Chandelure looking like they absolutely batter him. And then Coco just looking like it cleans up. So yeah, I felt confident going into the matchup. And we are going into the matchup just now.